Grab your glass, lean in close. We laugh, we dig, we chase the ghost. Welcome to Tinfoil and Tequila, where the wild ideas hit the floor. We crack the joke, then crack the code, and pour a little truth and pour some more. If the story sounds too strange, that's when we turn up the flame. Tinfoil and tequila, tinfoil and tequila, where happy hour meets the rabbit hole. Tinfoil and tequila, tinfoil and tequila, come on in, let the chaos roll. No suit, no script, no boring line, just big laughs and a twist of line. Tinfoil and tequila. Where happy hour meets the rabbit hole.
Good evening. Good evening. I guess this is the first time that you guys are actually hearing me tonight. So, the last couple times that I spoke before and during the music and all that, you didn't hear me because I apparently had my mic muted and I was talking to myself. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, that's quite okay. You could hear the music. You knew that something was going on, and that's what makes this show what it is. Like, this is Tinfoil and Tequila. This is a conspiracy and comedy podcast. Funny things are going to happen, strange things are going to happen. You're going to hear crazy things, you're going to hear laughs, you're going to hear uh some jokes, you're going to hear the truth, you're going to hear a little bit of everything here. So this is raw, it's unfiltered, it's unedited. I'm still playing with different tools here, trying to find out what's going to work best for our show. I know we're 6 episodes in now, and I still have not gotten this stuff figured out yet. I was using a program called OBS Studio, and it just was giving us all kinds of trouble. And I just was having so many issues with it, technical things going on with it. Didn't really like it. So tonight we're going kind of simple here. We're just using Rumble's software, Rumble Studio. You'll probably see that up at the top of our podcast there tonight in the ticker there. And it looks like the ticker's messed up at the top left. That's because it says Rumble Studio and the ticker is running through that up there at the top. But just ignore that. Don't worry about it. Hey, we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to be talking about HAARP and weather manipulation tonight. So, got some interesting information tonight. It is extremely hot. So, as I'm sitting here doing this podcast, sitting here in my garage, there is no AC. So, yeah, there's no air in my garage. So, it's about 100 degrees in here. I'm going to make the best of it. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to give you guys some great information, and I'm going to be pouring sweat in the process. So, you guys say a prayer for me, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do it right. All right. But anyways, thank each and every one of you for listening tonight to Tinfoil and Tequila. I'm Larry, your host in here tonight. I do not have any co-host with us, so Jennifer and Biggin is unavailable this evening. They will hopefully be with us next week. And so yeah, so you just got me. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. So, but we are going to go ahead and get this show on the road here. So I'm going to pull up some information here that I've been kind of working on, trying to put together for the show for everybody. Yeah, I wanted to have some visuals as well, but I didn't have enough time in my schedule to get all the visuals together that I wanted. So, with that being said, we are just going to go ahead and wing it, I guess, right? That's what we do around here. We just wing it. Just fake it till we make it, right? All right. So, have you guys heard about HAARP? HAARP. So HAARP. HAARP. That's HAARP. Well, if you haven't, I'm going to enlighten you as to what HAARP is and what you can expect from HAARP and what HAARP has been doing over the years, not only to us, but people around the world. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're about to find out because this is super, super interesting to say the least. Okay. So HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. I'll say that again. High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. And it's a scientific research facility that's located in Gakona, Alaska. It's operated by the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and it uses a massive array of 180 high frequency antennas to study the ionosphere, the highest part of the Earth's atmosphere. So, HAARP's primary instrument, which is the Ionospheric Research Instrument, also known as IRI, temporarily excites a small localized area of the ionosphere. By observing how this region reacts and relaxes, scientists can study natural plasma dynamics and understand how space, weather, and solar radiation affect Earth's atmosphere. This research is vital for improving modern communication, radar, and satellite navigation systems like GPS. And here's the conspiracy theories. Despite its purely scientific focus, yeah, right, HAARP is a frequent subject of conspiracy theories. It's often falsely blamed for triggering natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, wildfires, and floods. That's where we come in. Scientists emphasize that HAARP cannot alter weather or trigger tectonic events because the radio waves it transmits cannot interact with the atmospheric layers the troposphere, and the stratosphere where weather occurs. Furthermore, the energy transmits is billions times weaker than the natural energy driving events like earthquakes. For a for an expert breakdown of the science behind HARP and a clear explanation of why it cannot manipulate weather, you can check out some posts online. But I'm going to tell you otherwise. And that's where we come in here at Tinfoil and Tequila, where we're going to be talking about HARP in depth and weather manipulation and chemtrails. So I was trying to find, I had downloaded a little image. So there's actually, um, I've got a couple computers, and I'm thinking that I downloaded the image that I needed or wanted on my other computer and forgot to transfer it to my studio computer. But yeah. So, anyways, there are several facilities just like HARP around the world, just like the one that's in Alaska. Okay, there's about 7 other facilities throughout the world, and these different HARP facilities are responsible for manipulating the weather in different regions throughout the world. So while the one in Alaska handles North America and probably Central and South America as well, there's also some over in China, there's Japan, there's Russia, Europe. They've got several locations all over the world. So the one that's in Alaska is not the only facility that they have. They're trying to make you believe that, but that is not true. There are multiple facilities throughout the world. Now, with that being said, each and every one of these facilities is linked up. And where the conspiracy theories come in into this is that, sorry, my apologies, but I'm a little under the weather. My voice is a little raspy and got this little throat crud stuff going on. But anyways, where HARP comes in, and the conspiracy theories is we believe that HARP is responsible for manipulating our weather and making it rain, snow, hurricanes, tornadoes. It's all man-made. It's all part of weather manipulation and HARP. Now, you can do this research and stuff yourself. I've already done it over the years. And so I'm bringing you my knowledge of what I've done over the years and putting it here in front of you for you to listen to. So when I started doing this research, probably about, oh gosh, it's been about a good 10 years ago, at least, I would say. Um, I was, I, I I came upon it because I was interested in chemtrails. Okay. And I started looking and reading more about chemtrails. And then I've heard, mixed reviews. People say, oh, chemtrails are real. No, they're not. No, they're fake. It's not, it's just condensation from the planes, and then other people are like, no, chemtrails are real. I've been hearing this off and on over the years for a really long time. Now, when I got into really digging into chemtrails, that's where I kind of stumbled across HARP. And I had seen HARP mentioned several times in different weather posts, about tornadoes and stuff over the years. And I'm like, what is HARP? Like, what is that? Like, what are these people talking about? Like, I have no idea. So, anyways, when I had started digging into it, um, these I just went down this like massive rabbit hole, and it was just like article after article. It was like white paper research after white paper research. It was just watching videos, watching documentaries. I mean, there was just massive amount of data. And it's just like one thing linked to another that linked to another. And when I started digging into this, I found out that HARP was actually created by the US Navy. So study the weather, supposedly. Okay. Now, when I when I started looking into this, I found out, reading into a little bit more, that not only the U.S. Navy was involved, but also the U.S. Air Force was also involved in it. And then I was reading a little bit more and found out that the U.S. Navy decided that they wanted to sell HAARP to a private organization. Then the private organization sold it back to the Navy again. And then they ended up, um, allowing the University of Alaska Fairbanks to use HAARP for their weather studies. And then now all of a sudden, the University of Fairbanks, Alaska is now taken over HAARP completely. And supposedly the US Navy and Air Force is no longer a part of it. But I do not believe that that is true at all. I believe that they still very much have their hand in it, that with something with that much power, that our military is not going to relinquish control to a school, solely for them to just go and do whatever they feel like doing with the HARP laser systems that they have. Now, some of the controversy that's been going on over the years with HARP and weather manipulation has been that people truly believe that HARP can trigger the weather, but the naysayers are like, no, that's not possible. But I can tell you this much, and you can do all this research and look into this stuff too. But do your research into cloud seeding. It's called cloud seeding, like you're dropping seeds, like you're gonna plant something, like plant a seed, called cloud seeding. And look into cloud seeding, and you'll find out that weather manipulation is very real, and that's where the chemtrails come in. And actually, there's I'll have to see if I can find it, but there was a video where the CEO of a company called Rainmaker just testified before Congress, and there was a video of it, where he was talking about his company and how they do cloud seeding for the U.S. government. Now, when you look into cloud seeding and exactly what that is chemtrails. So he was coming right out and telling everybody that they are spraying heavy metals in the air, that they're spraying barium and aluminum and titanium and all these different liquid metals in the air. Now, if you know anything about metal, is that metal is conductive to frequency or electricity. Okay. Now that's where HARP comes in, because HARP has the blasters, the frequency blasters, to shoot the frequencies into the atmosphere to manipulate those metals in the air. And so that's where the weather manipulation comes in. So through the science, through the manipulating of the ions, um, and atoms and stuff in there, they can make them do whatever they want. Up there, they can make them, create a hurricane. They can create massive tornado outbreak. They can create thunderstorms. They can do whatever they want with it. And if you don't believe me, like I said, I highly recommend you do your own research into chemtrails. Now, don't go on Google and do Google search or whatever, or go on Chat GPT and try to ask Chat GPT. And when I say research, you got to dig deep. You got to go into the back channels. You've got to go use DuckDuckGo search engine to do some of your research. You got to go on there, go on Telegram, go on TikTok. I mean, there's all kinds of different resources. Don't just go on Google and be like, "Oh, look, here's the first article I found." No, it says chemtrails are not real. Of course, like Google and all the big companies and stuff out there, and even the big media companies, like one of the famous ones they like to use is USA Today, to try to discredit and debunk. But that's already been thrown out, as USA Today is fake as all get out. They're not a real media company. They were created just to debunk the truth, so to speak. But when you get to doing research and you're looking into these things and how HAARP is responsible for all the tornado outbreaks, HAARP is responsible for hurricanes, you know, it'll start opening up your eyes as to what has been really going on in the world, and how our weather is controlled and how, like, for instance, okay, let me give you this one. This is happening currently as we speak right now. Okay. Down here in Florida and Georgia and all that, down in the South down here, it is hotter than hell out here. I mean, it's like somebody left the door to hell open, right? I mean, come on. Now, when you look at the news and what's going on, look over in Wyoming out there. It is freaking snowing like crazy. And I'm talking about feet of snow. Like, hello, we're in the dead of summer, and Wyoming is a western state that's usually hot, and they've got like feet of snow in the middle of summer. Hello, that's screaming, wake up, weather manipulation. Like, I mean, they're controlling the weather, they are putting it in your face. How in the hell is there snow in the middle of summer in a hot state? Okay. Like, I mean, you guys need to wake up, like, and come to your senses. I mean, if you don't see that that is weather manipulation being put right in your face right there, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And then look at what happened to Asheville, okay? To Asheville, North Carolina, right? With the hurricane. Like when like in all of your years of seeing hurricanes, okay, and knowing about hurricanes over the years, when have you ever in your life ever seen a hurricane that continued to strengthen after it was on land and then go into a mountainous region and cause massive flooding on a mountain? I mean, that is just I mean, that just screams weather manipulation. And look at the hurricanes that have like the last few hurricanes that were getting ready to just blast Florida. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this hurricane's so big, it's gonna be a level 6 or whatever." And it's like off the charts. We don't even have a category for it. This hurricane is so big, it's gonna be devastating. And then it's just strengthening, and it's just this massive hurricane that you've like never seen before. It's so big. And and then all of a sudden, by the time it hits the coast, it dies down to like a category 2 or 3 or whatever it was, when it finally hit the coast of Florida. And I'm like, "Hello, like, that's weather manipulation. Like, how can a hurricane strengthen like that and then just die out?" That's because it was a battle of the bad guys with the good guys. So the bad guys were trying to create this, like, massive hurricane and just wipe out as many people as they could. The good guys were fighting back with the same technology, trying to diffuse the hurricane, and they were, flying planes in there and spraying silver iodide, into the, hurricane to try to diffuse the hurricane and get it. That's what those planes were doing, flying into the middle of the hurricane, spraying silver iodide in there. Now, if you don't know about silver iodide, I highly suggest that you watch the new Twisters movie that came out a few years ago. The new Twisters movie has weather manipulation in it. They are showing you that it's true that weather can be manipulated through through chemicals, through different technology. So while there was a massive, I mean, I'm just going to tell you the end of the movie. Um, but I highly suggest that you watch the movie so you can see it for yourself. But at the end of the movie, there's a massive tornado that's getting ready to hit town, and it's up to the storm chasers to try to keep the tornado from hitting town, and they knew what they had to do. They knew they had the technology to diffuse their tornado, and they had a truckload or actually a trailer full of these barrels of silver iodide, and they're like, "We gotta get this to the tornado. If the tornado picks this up, it'll suck it up, that silver iodide will go into the tornado, and it'll diffuse the tornado. The tornado will just die out once the silver iodide gets in there." And so, the one lady, she, like, pretty much just risked her life and just drove this truck with this trailer full of silver iodide right into the tornado, and she's like, "I gotta do it. I gotta risk my life, I've gotta, if I die, then, I'm saving the whole town, because the whole town's gonna die if I don't if I don't do this." So she just drove the truck right into the tornado, and she ended up surviving and living through it because the tornado died out once it picked up the barrels of silver iodide, that were on there, and it just diffused the tornado as if it, like, just died it, killed it out. So, yeah, yeah, I mean, it's right there in the movie. So, they're putting it right there in your face, showing you weather manipulation's real. And like I said, it's been a controversial thing for a long time, for a really long time, but over these last few years, it's really, um it's really been something that a lot of people have been talking about, and people have been watching the sky more and paying more attention to what's going on above their heads every day. And I go outside and look, and I'm like, "Yep, chemtrails, chemtrails, chemtrails. Yep, look, they're making an X over the city right now." I'm like, "Yep, bad weather's coming." And if you go outside and you look and you see all those lines in the sky where the planes are just sprayed, within 24 hours, you're going to have some kind of temperature change or some kind of weather change of some sort. It's going to rain, more than likely, or there's going to be thunderstorms. So yeah, so pay attention. And these planes are spraying all over the place. And if you still don't think that it's real, then can you explain that why Governor DeSantis has banned all chemtrail planes from being able to take off or land at any Florida airports? So the chemtrail planes are not allowed at any airports in the state of Florida. And they're also not allowed to fly over Palm Beach as well. That's a no-fly zone over Palm Beach. So if weather manipulation is not real and HAARP's not real and chemtrails are not real, then how come all of these laws are being put into place? And how come the CEO of Rainmaker testified before Congress and talked about chemtrails and weather manipulation being real? All right. So I'm giving you guys some stuff. I'm putting this in your lap. Okay. Now, you guys can, everybody's got entitled to their own opinions, right? I mean, I'm here to tell you guys about this stuff. Okay. I'm not here to force feed it to you. I'm just I'm just a messenger. I'm just giving you guys this information, and you can take it for what it is. You know, if you would like to you want to learn more about it, you want to do research, I highly encourage you to do that because we are our own people. You should not be letting anybody alter your mind, indoctrinate you. You are a free thinker. You are to free think for your own self. You are your own person, your own body. Okay. So I'm just a messenger spreading the truth and giving you guys some information. And it's up to you what you want to do with it. But I'm telling you, I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on. And I can tell you over the years, I've taken all sorts of crazy pictures of clouds. And I've seen these huge, like, cotton balls in the sky. I've seen, like, what looks like tidal waves in the sky. I mean, I've seen some bizarre looking clouds, and like today and, several times before, I've seen these weird, like, swirly looking clouds, almost look like they're, like, flat and round, like, almost like look like, cloaked UFOs or something, like, I mean, it's just really weird, stuff. Well, I'm gonna add something to this. So, you guys know all these, weather stations that have, that they've got a Doppler radar, right? And they've got that big white, dome thing, and supposedly inside there's this, like, spinning radar thing that, they can, see what's going on with the weather. It shoots a laser and bounce off the particles. They can tell if there's snow or rain or whatever. Okay. So, it's been said that those Doppler radars are more than what we're being told, that they're actually part of the HAARP system, and that they're connected in with HAARP, and that they are actually used for weather manipulation. Now, if you look, online, the US Navy has a ship. Now, I don't know if this is a manned ship or if it's a remote controlled ship or what, but it's very bizarre looking. It almost looks like an H shape, and then it's got one of those big old giant domes on it. Well, it's been said that every time that a hurricane happens out in the Atlantic or the Gulf or whatever, or the Caribbean, whatever, that US Navy ship with that dome is nearby of where the hurricane is at. Now, I don't know how true that is because I haven't seen it for myself, and I haven't been there and be like, "Oh, yeah, there's the Navy ship, and yep, here comes a hurricane." But there have been multiple sources that have mentioned that, and I've seen it multiple times over the last several years. I've seen it on post on Facebook and TikTok and, other social media platforms as well, but that's it's very interesting to know that, especially since that the U.S. Navy and the Air Force are backing HARP, and weather manipulation, and we all know that the U.S. Navy is really big into weather, uh, and yeah, so it doesn't surprise me any at all. But, and also the US military does have earthquake machines as well. There is an earthquake machine that they have where they can generate earthquakes. Now, you guys remember all the crazy wildfires? Remember the Maui fires and the California fires? Did you know that those were created by DEWs, by directed energy weapons that also are have to do with weather manipulation? Yeah. If you don't believe me, you can look that one up too. Look up directed energy weapons. You'll find some amazing pictures on it on Google, of the planes and the lasers shooting through the sky. But what was really interesting about these fires was that, um, nothing that was blue was burned in the fires. So the blue cars left untouched, blue houses, blue coolers, blue umbrellas. So um, everything that was blue was not touched, during these directed energy weapons, and also, I mean, during the fires, because the directed energy weapons are blue lasers and they can't see their own color essentially. So as they're blasting stuff with these lasers that's just scanning over the blue objects because they're like essentially invisible. And so people were like, "Okay, explain me this. How can the house burn down and the cars burn, but the trees are left untouched?" And I'm like, "Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because a typical wildfire is going to burn everything in its path. It's gonna burn the trees, it's gonna burn the grass, it's gonna burn the houses, the cars, it's gonna burn everything, that's, everything that's blue, it's not, it doesn't, um, you know, choose between colors, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Wildfire is just gonna, burn. So, so anyways, the the fires were very strange on how they burned, because like I said, there was trees and bushes and blue objects that were untouched, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely strange. And then all of a sudden, especially in Maui, FEMA actually came 3 days before the Maui fires started. So FEMA was already in town waiting. So what does that tell you? That it was all set up. It was all planned. And then FEMA comes in trying to take over people's property and trying to take their property from them. And then when that happened, the the military found out about it. The Marines found out about it, of what was going on, and that FEMA was in there, like armed FEMA agents, like FEMA agents with guns. I've never seen FEMA with guns, but these armed FEMA agents came in trying to take over people's property. The Marines found out about it, came in to see what was going on. The FEMA agents started firing upon the Marines. The Marines were taking out FEMA agents, and it ended up in a huge firefight. But the media didn't talk about it. You didn't hear that on CNN or Fox News or any other media, did you? You didn't hear about that, but that happened. That actually happened, over there. And then the FEMA agents tried to get the CIA to take out the commander, um, of the Marines over there, and they failed to do that. But yeah, there's been crazy stuff going on, guys. I mean, it's been absolutely insane. The weather manipulation stuff, HAARP, chemtrails, DEWs, that's directed energy weapons. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, guys, that you can do research on and look into this stuff more. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend Google at all, because Google's going to filter out a lot of this stuff, and they've made it where you can't find a lot of stuff that you want to actually find or look for in the search engines. So, so yeah. So anyways, it's definitely something that you guys need to check out. Like I said, I wish I had some pictures and videos and stuff to share, but you guys can go online and look up the pictures of HARP on there. Look up directed energy weapons. And I highly suggest doing research into weather manipulation. And one thing that's really been a little weird, to say the least. I told you that I was going to share something very weird with you tonight. So one of my Facebook friends actually shared this image from um, that came from her, uh, like a weather. What am I trying to say? A meteorologist. There we go. Couldn't think of the name for a minute. But anyways, it came from a meteorologist, and he posted this thing. This is from Chris Justice with WYFF4 news station that's in South Carolina. And what he posted was this image that says extreme storm fuel. And it's got a yellow exclamation mark and a lightning bolt. And he says, here's the storm fuel for Thursday afternoon, nearing 5,000 in spots. And then he's got a little arrow pointing to what looks like Clemson in Anderson, South Carolina area, and it says levels near 5,000 JKG. And now I have never heard of storm fuel. So, has anybody ever heard of this supposed terminology in storm fuel and can enlighten us what this is? Because I'm looking and the same guy posted, he says the storm fuel is climbing off the charts. Says heat dome to fuel dangerous heat and storms. So I don't know what is JKG in weather. So it says in weather, JKG stands for joules per kilogram, which is the unit of measurement for CAPE, which is convective available potential energy. It acts as a metric for atmospheric instability and measures the amount of fuel, per se, or energy available in the air to drive thunderstorm updrafts. Okay. So, and it says how to read CAPE values. It says less than 100 JKG is weak instability, little to no severe storm development. 1,000 to 2,500 JKG is moderate instability. Conditions are favorable for thunderstorms. 2,500 to 4,000 JKG is strong instability, high likelihood of severe weather, including large hail and damaging winds. And greater than 4,000 JKG is extreme instability and highly supportive of supercells and tornadoes. And this is reaching levels of 5,000 JKG. And this is happening in Anderson, South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, Henderson, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, Marion, North Carolina, Knoxville, Tennessee, Newport, Tennessee, Morristown, Maryville, and it's also stretching down into Georgia, down into Hartwell and Elberton, Jefferson, Athens area. And Yeah, and I'll share this picture on our Facebook page, on the Tinfoil and Tequila Facebook page. So if you want to check us out over there at Tinfoil and Tequila on Facebook, I'll make sure to have this picture on there and the information about the JKG, the joules per kilogram, and what that means and CAPE values on there. So, yeah, that's really interesting, ain't it? Very interesting. And what I was just talking about, weather manipulation, right? I was just talking about it. That's what this whole show is about tonight. It's about weather manipulation and how they're manipulating our weather. Well, this chart that I'm looking at, the Cape chart, only goes to like 4,000. It just says greater than 4,000. And this supposed storm fuel is 5,000 JKG. I mean, it's completely off the charts. So yeah, it's definitely something interesting. And what they're trying to do is they're going to try to brew a whole bunch of tornadoes in this area. So for those of you that are in these purple and red spots on here and the orangey areas, y'all better watch out. Y'all better be ready and be ready to take shelter immediately and have a game plan put together to keep in contact with your families and stuff, because it's coming. It's coming. And this is supposed to be happening this afternoon, today, Thursday, it says, but which could lead into thunderstorms tonight and to tomorrow, ruining everybody's 4th of July plans, right? That's what they want to do. They want to, every time, if you've noticed, if you notice this, every time that there's a holiday coming up where there's gonna be a huge gathering, like Memorial Day and Labor Day and 4th of July and, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. Have you ever noticed the trend, the bad weather trend that's, coming into the holiday or on the holiday? Yeah. So, anyways, this article or this picture that I was looking at, it says, he wrote in there for Thursday afternoon, but it's actually for Friday that he put at the bottom of it, but, I'm gonna share this graphic so, you guys can see it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on our Facebook page now, so you guys have that, and, you can check it out when you get a second. But, let me go ahead and put that over there now for you guys. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot, guys. There's a lot to talk about, when it comes to weather manipulation. You guys, I just ask that you do your own research, look into stuff, um, and do your own digging if you don't believe me, or want to learn more about it. And also, another thing is we just did an episode on MK Ultra, right? And lo and behold, Congress, um, is holding hearings about MK Ultra and how there's over 100 programs of MK Ultra that are still going on to this day. And we told you that in our episode that we believe MK Ultra is still happening to this day. It's still very active programs. And the gate program and the tag program, MK Ultra, it's all the same. It's all mind control, manipulation, and all that. So you guys listen to our past episode we just did on MK Ultra. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting. But yeah, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out here. It's a little after 9:20 here Eastern time. And, I just want to give you guys some information about weather manipulation and HAARP tonight and, DEW's directed energy weapons. So, I mean, I hope you guys found the information useful. I hope you go out and watch the Twisters movie, rent it at home, whatever. Check it out. And, keep your eyes open, as to what's going on around you and above you. And like I said, when you see those trails being sprayed up there, within 24 hours, you're going to have some kind of weather event. There's going to be temperature changes. There's going to be storms, rain, whatever happening. But yeah. Anyways, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in here because this show is not possible without you. Okay. We have got to have you in the tinfoil and tequila. There is a you right in the middle of tequila. All right. And that's you. You get it? No? Okay. Well, the tinfoil then. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys again so much for listening. We really, really appreciate you. Wherever you're listening from, please tell all your friends, families, and coworkers about tinfoil and tequila. Tell them to tune into our show that's live at 8 p.m. on Thursday nights. The show is recorded, so it will also be syndicated up to YouTube and Spotify. So we do stream live on Twitch and Rumble every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then, like I said, we are syndicated over to Spotify and YouTube. So that I will upload the show to those platforms usually within 24 hours of our podcast. So, anyways, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors for the show tonight. I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Wilder and Smith. Go check them out for all of your on-demand letter needs at wilderandsmith.com. And also want to give a shout out um, to our friend Biggin at might be out there listening. And he works for Mattress Connection over in Dalton, Georgia. So we want to give a little shout out to them over there. So we hope everything's going good with Biggins tonight and Mattress Connection. So go check them out. They've got the location where Biggin works over in Dalton, Georgia is off of Fleming Street over there. They're in the little shopping center right there on Fleming Street. So go over there and check them out for all of your bedding needs. But yeah, we also want to give a shout out to Learn for Less. If you have any online training needs for your company or individual needs, we've got tons of online courses available. We're always creating more courses over there at Learn for Less. So make sure to go check them out over there. And that's at L4LLMS.com. So L4LLMS.com for all of your online learning needs. And also check out True Patriot Technologies over at truepatriottech.us. That's True Patriot Technologies at truepatriottech.us for all of your IT and technology needs. Also have lots of business services such as website design and web hosting, domain names, business phone solutions, and much, much more. Go check them out. And if you have any questions for us, here I'll go ahead and give you our contact information. You can email us at studio at tinfoilandtequila.com. You can also call us or text us at 706-222-3889. And send us your stories, send us just a simple hello, whatever, any kind of evidence that you've got, we can put on the show and make a show out of it. We'd love to see it. So anyways, thank you guys all so much for listening and tuning in tonight. This again is Larry, and you're listening to Tinfoil and Tequila, and I hope you all have a wonderful night and God bless.